Good morning, good morning, good morning, Facebook Live, Facebook family. How you guys doing today? Well, as you can tell from the title of today's video, I'm doing the second video in a series of videos of entitled Get Your Shit Together, meaning I'm trying to bring light to us advanced planning. It's called advanced care planning, where you get your shit together. Okay, essentially you want to make sure you have your affairs in order in the event of an emergency, in the event that something happened. I'm not even talking about death. It's even before death. Just in the event that you have an emergency and something happened. I kind of touched on this yesterday, the last video, but I got some responses back that I just wanted to do this quick little session on. It's only going to be a few minutes. I'm actually out here in Brooklyn getting ready to see two of my patients, and I'm just waiting for alternate side to finish at 10:30. So this is going to be a quick one. But essentially the topic I want to cover today is having the conversation. Right? Having the conversation. What is the conversation? What is the conversation? And that is actually bringing up the fact that we need to talk about what should I do in case there's an emergency, or to the extreme of in case you do die. What do I do? In my last video, one of my old coworkers, she had mentioned that she had actually had a conversation with her parents due to one of the videos I posted maybe a few months ago discussing the same topic, and they didn't want to have a conversation with her. They didn't want to talk about it. And that's actually very common. It's very common. I don't know if necessarily our society, but definitely just a common thing. Who wants to talk about death? Who wants to talk about fear? Who wants to talk about something happening that's very tragic? You don't want to talk about these things. It's kind of like, you speak it, it may happen, that type of thing, or you feel like you might be jinxing yourself or anything like that. But guys, me being a nurse, I see this every day. I'm in home care, so I see it even more every day. You have patients that the family just doesn't know what to do. And it's not a good feeling, and it's not a good thing to experience. So you do have to sit with your family members and talk to them. You have to talk to them and ask them, what do you want me to do? How do I go about doing this, that, or the next? How do the bills get paid? In terms of death, do you want to be cremated? Do you want to be buried? Where do you want to be buried? Do you want to be buried here in my case, let's say New York, or do you want to go back home to wherever your home country is? If you want to do that, how are we doing that? Do we have the funds to do that? What are the finances? So there's a lot of parts to advanced care planning that a lot of details to it. I'm only coming to you from a nursing standpoint, but there's also a financial standpoint where you may need to speak with like a financial advisor. There's also a legal standpoint where certain things may need to be legal documentations through a lawyer. So we'll touch on that as the series go on. But today's purpose is just have the conversation. As uncomfortable as it may be, it's just easier in the long run to have this conversation now, especially when your family member is lucid and in their right mind and they can tell you what their wishes are. The last video I had, one of my bowling friends, he mentioned that his father passed. It's been about 1.5 years now, and they are they're still trying to sort things out since the father passed away. And that's usually what happens. That is usually what happens, is you don't know what the hell to do. You don't know. I met a patient recently and the house was up for sale, and I had to ask, are you guys planning to move? Just let us know, keep in touch with us. So if you're moving, we know what the correct address is. So when a nurse needs to come out, we know where to go. And she mentioned, we kind of have to put the house up for sale, but my father was doing this, that, and the next, and we don't know what the hell he was into and what he signed and whatever. And those are things you don't want to find out post-mortem, after death. Those are things you don't want to find out while they're intubated in an ICU. These are things you want to touch base with and touch things on now, so you have an idea of what's going on. Again, families they're very secretive. A lot of families are that way. Or parents are secretive. They feel like, you're the child. You're not supposed to know. Well, damn it, Mom, I'm 40 years old. I really need to figure this out. It's not like you're 9, like my kids' age. You're grown people dealing with these real grown situations, okay? Also on my video, and actually it's, she's actually just came on the feed, Kokisha. I love you, girl. She also commented that she had the conversation with her grandmother before her passing. And when her passing came, it made things a lot easier for her family. And that's what you want. And that's what I want for you, and what I want for me, and what I want for all of us. That if this situation happened, again, I'm not just talking death. I'm talking emergencies, tragic situations. There are people who, they get sick and something happens. They have to get placed into medically induced comas. So anything can happen at any time. And with her, she was saying, because she had this conversation with her family member, when her grandmother did pass, it made things so much easier on the family in terms of organizing and getting things together after death. Now, with that being said, Kokisha can tell you, and it's probably there on my timeline as well, I challenged her and I said, okay, good, that was good with grandma, but did you talk to your husband, your kids, your mom, in terms of all that? That was good for grandma. And again, we're thinking elderly. It's not just elderly. It does not matter your age. We should all have these things written down, discussed, and talked to with somebody. And she said, yes, no, we're on it. I had a conversation with everybody. Everybody knows everything regarding me and me regarding them. And that was awesome to hear. And that's what I want to hear from all of us, and including myself, that we're prepared. We're prepared for whatever is going to happen. And that's exactly what we need to do. We need to be well prepared. Because again, we're not guaranteed today. We're not guaranteed tomorrow. I'm not guaranteed 10 minutes from now. But does your family members know what to do in case of emergency? Do you know what to do for them in case of emergency? It goes both ways. Not just you knowing about them, but they need to know about you as well. Again, it's not about being nosy or dishing your business out there. You pick that one or two people that you feel you can trust. It is trustworthiness, people that you can trust. I'm not even saying it has to be family. Whoever you choose that you feel should be that representative for you, or you trust with that information, and to do the right thing by you in the event that you cannot speak for yourself, you want to do that. So you have to have these conversations. You really do. Are they easy? Hell no. They're not easy. I've done them. I've done them for family members. I've done them for my own mom. So even personally, it's one thing to do it for a family member. That's no problem. But for me to do it for my own mom really made it real for me. Like, damn, this is real, she's intubated in ICU and I have to make decisions. This is crazy. And I'm a nurse, but it's still different when it's your own family. You know what I mean? So you do have to have these things in place. And that's what we're going to go through a little bit more regarding what do you need to have in place? What are the names of some of the forms and documents? What should you be thinking about? Organizing, getting together, maybe getting a fireproof and water resistant safe to keep in the house for certain documentation that you need to have in case of any emergency. Maybe a what's the thing called at the bank, the boxes at the bank, I can't think of the name of them, but whatever, the boxes at the bank that they keep secured on the lock and key and only you have the key. Maybe you would think about something like that. So there's a lot of options, a lot of things. I'm not trying to say everything is quick 1, 2, 3 answers, but we have to start thinking. And that's the point of my let's get your shit together, okay, videos, because we have to start thinking. We have to start being prepared. We have to kind of get over it. You got to get over it. You got to get over the fears. You got to get over the taboos. You got to get over it, because you know what? When things happen and someone's in the hospital or someone passes away, shit gets real. And I'm talking to you like it is. Shit gets real. Okay? And when that happens, you don't want it to get so real that you don't know what the hell is going on. It's horrible, 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 horrible feeling. You want to have at least some things in order, or have knowledge of some things, so that it's easier for you to deal with, so you can deal with the other things, because there's so many things that go on when someone is sick or in the hospital or have passed away. So if we can get some of it taken care of, that's the goal. Okay? So again, having the conversation, you have to have it. Suck it up. Get over it. You have to have the conversation. You need to sit down with your parents and your loved ones and have the conversation. What do you want me to do in case such and such happens? And like one of my other friends said, they didn't want to talk about it. And I suggested to her, you know what? Don't approach them in the sense of death. Approach them in the sense of in case of emergency. Let's say you're just unconscious for a day or two. Let's say you lose your memory for a short-term period, or, moment of time. These things happen. And this is what I'm talking about. Not just death. These things happen. Maybe you can approach your family members from that aspect. Maybe not bring up death. Death is like final, terminal. Oh my God. So maybe not bring that up, but bring it up in the sense of, well, Mom, if you were hospitalized and you couldn't speak for yourself, what do you want me to do? Where are the bills? What is the mortgage company? Who is your cell phone carrier? How do you get paid these things? You know, these are things you have to ask and know. Who's your insurance company? Hello. This is the hospitals we're talking about. They need to know the insurance. What is the insurance company? Who's your insurance provider? Do you have insurance? You know what I'm saying? So maybe talk to them from that standpoint instead of just coming at, oh my God, if you die, what do you want me to do? Let's not go all the way to death. Let's start slow and say, if there was an emergency and you couldn't speak for yourself, you're unconscious for a period of time, what do you want me to do? How do you want me to handle this? Who do you want me to talk to? You know, who knows, whatever, things like that. So that's it. It's after 10:30, so I'm going to go see my patients now. But remember, this is all just made for you to just start thinking. You guys start having conversations with your loved ones. You know, you got to get your shit together. Because when things happen, like I say, shit gets real. It gets real. And it's not the time to start finding things out. You have enough to deal with anxiety and grieving and depending what's going on and making medical decisions. So I'm going to come back with you guys probably over the weekend with, thanks, baby. A great conversation starter. You got to start. There's no easy way of doing it. You just start. Have a sit down and talk about it over dinner. Have a sit down and talk about it watching a movie one night, or just going over to sit down with your family member. You got to talk about it. No easy way. Just bring it up. You know what? I was thinking, if there was an emergency, what would you want me to do? And start from there. And then maybe they'll open up to you there. And again, like I offered to my friend and my former coworker, Alma, same thing. If you need me to have that conversation for you with your parents, that's fine. I don't care. Whatever it takes for us to get this awareness out there, as long as we can all get prepared, that's my mission, that we all are prepared to the best of our abilities, right? So if you need me to make the phone call or sit down and have a conversation with them one-on-one, I'll do that for you. Inbox me and let me know. I don't care, because I'm about making sure we're all ready and prepared and making things easier on you. Sometimes your family members just don't want to talk to you. It is what it is. You know, they just feel you're the child and you don't need to know. Okay, so I'm not related to you. I'm not your child, so you can talk to me. You know what I mean? So if I could make that easy for you, I'll do that. Okay. All right, Facebook. I'm heading in to go see my patients. It was great seeing you. Alma, you joined. I was just talking about you. go rewatch the video. I mentioned you a few times, but without your name. All right, guys. Have a beautiful day. Be blessed. Talk to you later.